This is a fun conversation. So Mr. Logical caught Bill Simmons having a conversation that seemed kind of interesting. And obviously the Knicks winning the title would be a very, very, very big deal just in the world of sports. But who else has that kind of cachet that if they won a championship, it would be somewhere at least close? It probably won't reach the level of the Knicks.
Bigger than their sport. It'd be like it'd be a earthquake type of an event.
Yeah, so go ahead. I'll let you start it off since it's your topic.
My first one, in the spirit of FIFA that I've been shitting off like last month, the U.S. men's soccer team. Oh my God! Listen to me now. Honestly, check it out. This is crazy shit. I thought about it after I sent it to you. I thought it'd be like, you know what? Wow, I said it at work. They did the same thing you did. I was like, are y'all serious? You not understand like how big soccer is to the world, and it's called soccer, and there's a whole history of why
it would be big to the world. I mean, like people here would act like it's big for about a day.
Now this is why I kind of give it the equivalent. New York is probably considered, if we ranked overly confident populations in America.
Okay,
New York is probably 1. LA is probably 1A. We'll say
Philly, Boston,
Chicago, Boston. Yeah, Boston's probably up there. Like, just the ego level of these cities. Now, if we think on a world scale, the most cocky country is America. So on the world scale, we are what New York City is to United States. If we were in the finals, the men's soccer team was in the finals versus France or Germany or some like Argentina and they beat one of these powerhouse teams to win the World Cup, it would, I dare to say it will be bigger than the Knicks winning the championship. Just because
it's a world event. That's kind of cheating.
It's not really cheating. I'm just saying, like, that would be like that to me. Like, that would be the equivalent.
That's cheating. That's cheating. All right. So how about this?
I thought that was like a good one.
No, it is a great one, but it's a great one, but it's kind of cheating because.
No, people disagree. Like the people in my office flat out disagree. Like even to this point where you kind of make a concession.
Well,
I get it. You think it's cheap.
It might be.
They flat out didn't even agree. They were like, no one would care. I was like, you mean no one would care? I'm like, people would care.
No, like everybody from England to Italy would fire their managers.
Well, yeah, they would fire the manager and they will hire whoever the manager is for the U.S. men's team immediately. Half the team will be playing in the Premier League.
All right, well, allow me to go to the NFL.
That surprised me. I thought that was going to be like, hey, man, I never thought of that. They got shit on by 5 adults.
I'm gonna go to the NFL.
NFL.
I'm gonna go to the same city. Can you imagine the fucking Jets winning a Super Bowl?
Jets win a Super Bowl?
Holy shit! Like, you talk about miserable fans. I didn't have the Mets though. I don't have the Mets.
You don't have the Mets. No. I have the Jets. I got another one. I got another one for you. I think you'll like too.
But if the Jets, think about this, right? The Jets have less AFC championships than the Colts, and the Colts haven't been in the AFC East since 1999. The Jets have not won the AFC East since 2002. The Jets have not made the playoffs since 2010, and they're in the middle of New York City. Probably one of the most loyal fan bases that you could think of in sports, because their fans ride just like the Cleveland Browns fans. If the Jets won the Super Bowl, the earth would stop spinning on its axis.
You would see...
And they haven't won since 1969.
It would be... See, Jet fans aren't in Manhattan. They're in, like, Long Island.
Queens,
Queens. Like, so they're like on the... So I don't think it would flood Manhattan the way the Knicks fans are currently flooding Manhattan. It would be crazy. I think you would see a lot. You would see some people jumping back on the bandwagon.
They just got to get Wu-Tang to perform. Method Man's a Jet fan.
the thing because he's Staten Island, like the islands, Staten Island, Long Island, out like that's the Jets. The Islanders is like Mets, Jets, Islanders, Nets. Like that's your quadrant right there. The thing with the Jets that would make it so remarkable is that it seems like every year they're really good at something. Like they have really good defensive players, but they're just like so bad offensively, or they're so bad in the coaching staff, or they're just so bad at quarterback. It's like if you could just get average, if they could just the defense that they had over the last few years, if they get average play out of the quarterback and then above average game planning from the coaching staff, I think the young talent they had defensively could have made a splash. They could have made like the way Denver played in the AFC Championship game against New England. I think they could have made one of those kind of runs to where you don't have that bad turnover, you might win that game, end up in a Super Bowl. But they just keep having bad decision making. And then going back to Geno Smith now, it's just like they just keep they're on this merry-go-round of misery by themselves. Whereas everybody else, like we talk about the NFL, like, the NFL gives you an opportunity to go from worst to first every year. It happens every year in each side of the AFC, NFC, or a team that goes from first to like maybe third. It happens. It's a fluctuation. The Jets, they don't seem to be able to catch that wave to get up to the top.
If the Jets win a Super Bowl, get your Bibles out, cue Revelations, because you're going to hear those horns.
The horns of the trumpet.
Yeah, they're going to hit them trumpets.
All right, I got one. I'm gonna go baseball.
Okay.
Mike Trout's Angels. Not the Angels if he's not playing for him, but like because people feel like Mike Trout is like they call him the best player, but we never really see him because his team doesn't extend themselves into the playoffs. But I think a Mike Trout Angels team, I think it would especially more likely they're gonna be playing the Dodgers. So I think just taking down that juggernaut of the Dodgers, Mike Trout, Angels, I think that would have the Richter scale going crazy. I don't really have any like details about his stats or anything like that. I just know how he's regarded as such a, everyone says he's the best baseball player they've ever seen, and injuries kind of derailing it. If for whatever reason they can put it together, and the Mike Trout Angels, not just the Anaheim Angels or Los Angeles. So the Angels.
I think that would be a big deal for Mike Trout and Mike Trout fans in the vein, because Barry Bonds never won a World Series, for example. So it would be big, but I don't think. I know you're emphasizing. Well, I know you're emphasizing the Mike Trout Angels.
It has to be Mike Trout.
You know what I'm saying? But I think of it as. Nobody cares about the Angels. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about the Angels.
But they care. Like I think the baseball community cares about.
I think
Mike
baseball
Trout.
Purists care about Mike Trout.
I think that's because he's such a genuine.
I mean, it's not like he's Taylor Swift
guy.
Or something.
He's like the Taylor Swift of baseball, like just genuine nice guy. I think they will highlight it all year long. If the Angels finish the year, fucking 101-61. And they were number one seed in the American League, and they were like poised.
Oh, don't jump ahead of me, Riz. That's on my list. Yeah. Don't jump ahead of me.
All right, so I got that Mike Trout's Angels. Like I said, it has to be Mike Trout.
All right, now this one I reached a little bit, because I wanted to have a creative conversation. I didn't want to just be like,
you didn't want to have a chalk conversation. That's why.
Yeah. So check me out though. Check me out. So. This team got ripped away from their city. We've been clamoring for them to come back, except for Mr. Logical. If the Seattle Supersonics come back and win a title, that would be such a folklore celebration. You know what I mean? The uniforms, the hats, the design. Yeah, it's got to be the uniforms. They got to have the uniforms. Not those ones. Not the ones that they wore against the Bulls in the finals. The green and orange. The green and yellow.
Has to be your ambassador.
Yeah, and because Seattle, I think, was one of those teams that because of their color scheme, how different their uniforms were. You know, the Space Needle, Sean Kemp. So Seattle was popular in a way that a team from Seattle should not be popular.
They're more popular in the 90s than probably any team that plays on the West Coast and most of the sports.
You know who the
California teams.
You know who it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me a little bit, not today, but in the 90s, I'm going back. It reminds me almost of, they were like the West Coast version of the Charlotte Hornets back in the 90s, like the Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning.
Everyone had a Charlotte Hornets jacket.
Yeah.
And everyone had the Seattle soup. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it came out with
playing style.
The Hornets came out with the purple uniforms. Oh, it lights out. You know what I mean?
The playing style, the above the rim,
but then,
the energy guy, the personalities. The 90s were just flooded with personalities anyway. So,
but then to top it off, right? And if this happened, people would say sports was rigged. But if the Supersonics beat OKC in the Western Conference Finals to get to the NBA title,
you think OKC would try to claim it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought there was an agreement.
Like the Ravens, like the Colts and the Browns, or the Browns and the Ravens, or the Ravens and the Colts, like playing each other in the AFC
there was an
Championship.
agreement. I thought there was an agreement that if the Sonics came back, that the
all information would go back.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right, who you got next?
All right, like you saw the Mets once, so we don't really elaborate on that. Same thing. Cleveland Browns double down if it's Shador-led Cleveland Browns.
Oh, jeez.
Because people care. Like, I don't think people really care about the Kansas City Chiefs as much, but they really, really like Patrick Mahomes. I don't think people really cared about New England, but they just really love Tom Brady. Like the New England fans did, but like, there's no way you're a New England fan if you were born in Ohio. If you were born anywhere near the Mississippi River, like you're never even going to go to New England. But Cleveland Browns, because of the history, Jim Brown being there for the last NFL championship that wasn't a Super Bowl, but a Cleveland Browns Super Bowl, just because the fan base is so just already on tilt. And if you add a Shador, like if Shador is a starting quarterback when it happens, just the media ferocity around it, coupled with like the decades of passion for the Cleveland Browns, I think that'd be nuts. Is it bigger than New York? No, but I think it would have that same kind of drive, having just the city kind of reuniting themselves and joining in unity in the streets. I think it would be that level of intensity for the city.
Well, you know what's funny?
And popularity for this, yeah.
What's funny is I almost brought up the Cleveland Indians. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't do it because they hadn't won since 1948. I almost brought them up. But what I will do is switch gears the same way that you kind of went with the World Cup.
Yeah.
If Nebraska wins another national title, you know what I mean? They haven't won a title since this is college football royalty. And I'm not saying it just because I'm a Nebraska student, but they haven't won the title.
You have multiple college football teams, right?
As far
on
as
your list, like on your list that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Are they number one, or are they
no.
one of? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because my number one.
I want to rank them. I want to rank them.
Okay. Hold on. I got you.
Okay.
So Nebraska hasn't won the title since '97. You know, they played against that Miami team, in 2001 in the national title game. They shouldn't have been there because they lost 62-36 to Colorado in the Big 12 championship game. But Mr. Logical, on my list, Nebraska's number 3 because I got Penn State at number 2. Notre Dame at number 1. If Notre Dame wins a national title, especially if they beat a SEC team to do it, if Notre Dame beats Alabama in a national title game, they beat Ohio State in a national title game, they beat Georgia in a national title game. For us old school people out there, Notre Dame beats Michigan in a national title game, that will get the computers putin'.
Penn State.
Okay.
I like your Penn State. I got Penn State, Notre Dame, Nebraska. Out
All
of
right,
your list.
why Penn State ahead? Why Penn State?
Because I think Penn State has a legendary figurehead that everybody knows, and Notre Dame just has a history that everybody's aware of. Like, Notre Dame has been Notre Dame forever. Like, you don't really know how many national championships they had. You might know who Lou Holtz is, Rocket Ismail. Like, you're not thinking about, like, was it Newt Rockney in the speech? Like, that's not like a thing that's like locked into your head.
Win one for the Gipper.
Yeah, stuff like that. But with Penn State, you have Joe Paterno, you have
the scandal.
Very plain. You have the scandal. You have the very plain, but at the same time iconic jersey that hasn't
getting
changed.
rid of a coach like James Franklin.
So you just have like this.
Well, I'm
like a bit of you have a nostalgia, because no matter how old you are, if you are 40 or you're 20, Joe Paterno was coaching like for a substantial part of your like life. Like if you're like between like 50 and 35 right now. So you associate Penn State with Joe Paterno, subsequently the scandal, and then, like I said, like the iconic look of the team, because they've looked the same for so long, and they've seemed to play the same way for so long. Black shoes, blue jerseys, white pants, white helmets, all white uniform. It's just like a very iconic look. I think that would drive the nation wild.
So real quick before you go, I just want to say this one sentence real quick. Could you imagine? So this is not a team for now. I'm going back in the past a little bit. Could you imagine Georgetown winning a title in the 90s?
But
they
Iverson?
were, yeah. I mean, just in general, like Georgetown, like for a long time, there were people that I met that like legit thought Georgetown was a HBCU.
Literally, I was thinking the same thing. I was waiting for you to stop because I was going to say it. I thought Georgetown was a black school.
Yeah, Georgetown and Temple, Virginia. Those were the two.
I thought Georgetown for sure was a black school, and then someone told me like, it's like that's why the lawyers that work in DC.
Yeah, it's a Jesuit university. But go ahead. Who you got next?
This is kind of like a layup, just because I think the guy's likable. The Buffalo Bills. That was one of Bill Simmons' suggestions. I was like, I like that. I think the Buffalo Bills, even though they whine and get the rules changed every year, I think everybody's likable. I think their team is just likable. I think people like Deion Dawkins. I don't know what's going on with your boy Keon, but he likes him. Obviously, DeMar Hamlin, him dying on the field. And
I don't think they get the New York stimulus from it, though.
You don't think they get you don't think the love? Yeah, because I guess Buffalo's kind of small. I just figure like on I think people love that team nationally, even if you have your own team. I think if Sunday Night Football is Buffalo versus Cincinnati and you're a Raiders fan, I think you don't mind watching Josh Allen go off 400 yards.
That's a good one too. I didn't have it on my list, but the Bengals would be a good one. With Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, the struggling franchise, because they're like the Browns, but they just got some success sprinkled in every so often. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a good one.
They seem to get the quarterback right for a while, and then the quarterback goes to the owner and says, "Hey man, can we get 2 more hot tubs in the locker room?" They're like, "Nope." He's like, "Man, get me out of here."
And side note, you know who's in first place right now, Mr. Logical?
In
I can't
baseball?
tell you. Yeah.
Knowing you is probably the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The White Sox.
What?
The White Sox. Which brings me to my next pick. The Bulls winning a title without a Michael Jordan.
Man, we've seen that OG tipping. I'm going to say realistically, I've seen that OG tipping 27 times in the last 2 days.
Uh-huh.
If the Bulls are on this kind of run, can you Nike, first of all, is bringing back every Jordan from all 6 championships. If the Bulls get to the Eastern Conference Finals and it looks like, or they look like they're going to make that run, they make the move and somehow they get Giannis and then they hit on the draft pick and it just kind of works and they're making that run. They're bringing back every single pair of Jordans that won the year he won championships. They're all coming back, original colorways, $500 each. It's going to be nuts. So that's going to make the streets want it even more. So, yeah, I like that one. Because if I'm off the bat, that's the first thing I'm saying.
Could you imagine Game 7, Bulls at the Garden,
Eastern Conference Finals.
Michael Jordan walks in the arena. Shut it down. Shut it down. Like, bro, could you imagine?
Donnie would be in the booth like this. Him and Raekwon, like, yeah.
Could you imagine? Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if Mike didn't show up.
And then Giannis, because they made the deal to get Giannis, just makes it hypothetical.
Even if Mike didn't show up. Even if Mike didn't show up.
Comes out in the last shots.
Even if Mike didn't show up. Imagine Patrick Ewing talking to somebody. And he turns around and Scottie Pippen's just staring at him. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
everybody would be there. The Knicks Bulls 2027 Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's enough. You don't think Mike will show up?
Why you gotta be the party pooper?
I think Mike would. I think he would. I think he would. I think a lot of legends would, because I think those franchises, because we talked about the 80s with Boston and Boston and the Lakers kind of driving the needle. I think in the 90s that Bulls, young Shaq Orlando, Knicks popularity, I think that was huge. I think they would probably pay him. They would pay him whatever number he wanted just to have him show up. Just to have that moment. But yeah, I definitely would have a run. I would drop them all, and if I was Nike, I'd drop them all at the same time. Boom.
Hey, I told you we were going to have fun, Rez. I told you we were going to have fun. All right, all right. You got any more? You got, or you tapped out? I got
I got the Brooklyn Nets because it's New York, and I got the Mets.
Okay,
but the Mets spend so much
money. The
Nets
is a good one. The Nets is a real good one. If they could ever get people to buy into them.
That's the problem. I don't think they have the fan base to buy into them, and I just feel like you need a little bit more of a fan base dedication to make the owner want to spend money.
So does Jersey still have a really rich owner?
Yo, honestly, football is king here. Like you see, Philly people love all their teams. And Philly people love all their teams, and they rock with them. Jersey, they love their football teams, and then they love the Yankees.
Okay, fair enough. So I was thinking, I was going to keep it in New York again. I don't want to beat the dead horse, but I was wondering how big it would be if St. John's won a national title. Like if St. John's would have beat Duke in that Sweet 16 game this year, like how crazy would New York have gotten to get that rematch with UConn in the Elite Eight, the rubber match. St. John's has never won a national title, but just because they are situated in New York City, they are viewed in my eyes as an iconic program because they were there with the Big East. When the Big East became a thing and when it took over national media and everything, so I wonder how big St. John's would be. But Rez brought up a team that I was going to bring up earlier, and it's simple. It's chalk, so you got to have some chalk. And I'll give you a twofer. And the reason that I'll give you a twofer is because I brought up Penn State and Notre Dame. And their last national titles were a year apart. Well, you also got the Cowboys and 49ers, who last Super Bowl was a year apart. So as much as we bang on the Cowboys because they haven't won since 95 or whatever it was, the 49ers haven't won in that same window.
But those teams have been like good.
Well, the 49ers have been on the brink. They've made a few Super Bowls. Dallas still hasn't gotten back.
The Cowboys have, it was one year they went 8-0 at home and then lost that playoff game to Green Bay. So like they've been like a good team. They have been floundering like the Jets. That I think that's what the Cowboys is like. When are you going to get over the hump? Yeah, because they have a successful history. I remember we had an argument, one of the groups talking about like if they had a winning culture or something like that, and then they went out and had a terrible year and kind of lost my argument. But it would be a huge deal. But I think we expect them to be there because they're always equipped as far as talent, as far as ownership, as far as just the even the coaching staffs have always kind of fit. It's just there's this narrative that the owner is impatient, and that's the I think the fans would be crazy, but like I said, I'm not sure if we as sports fans have felt the Knicks were even going to be close to a championship, let alone 24 hours away from winning.
Well, like there's still
the Cowboys. Like I think the Cowboys people pick the Cowboys every year. Like I picked the Cowboys to play the Ravens probably last year. So I'm saying, I think people believe in the Cowboys. It just doesn't.
And there's still people in our age group that remember Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, so on and so forth. Like nobody has seen the Knicks
all the time. Yeah, no one's seen anybody from the Knicks other than Clyde Frazier.
In our age group, saying like you got to go back. Like the last time the Knicks won a title, and I'll be 45 in less than 2 months. The last time the Knicks won a championship, my mom was 17. You know what I'm saying?
My dad was 16.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so like, no, I get your point, Riz. There are way more Cowboy fans, but so here's another one. It's the logical, and this is another one of those things. It's the same city as my previous reach, and I only brought this team up because I want to say what I'm about to say. The Seattle Mariners. Okay. So the reason that I bring them up is because back in 2001, they won 116 games. They broke the record that the Dodgers just recently tied for wins in a season, right?
Yep.
There was no Ken Griffey on that team. There was no Alex Rodriguez on that team. But in that year, Mr. Logical, there's a guy named Ichiro. He won MVP and Rookie of the Year. He was a Silver Slugger, a Golden Glove winner. They had Brett or Adam Boone, who finished third in MVP. They had Jamie Moyer, and I forgot the other pitcher's name, but they finished third and fourth in the Cy Young. Yeah, and they didn't get to the World Series that year. The Mariners are the only team. The Mariners are the only team in Major League Baseball that have never made the World Series. That's why I bring them up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to the Knicks point, to Rez's point, I got one for you. Not this isn't another team, but I think when the Cubs and Red Sox won, that was bigger than the Knicks.
The curse was so long. It's like I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it turned the city crazy the way the Knicks.
Well, I mean, it's New York. Like, it's always going to be overrated. Like, it's always going to, just off of numbers, you know what I mean? Like, New York is going to have an advantage from that standpoint. But I'm just talking about, like, where it stands in, like, in the history of the sport. Like,
Chicago is divided between two established baseball teams, too.
Which is weird because I've never met a White Sox fan. Well, actually, I met one. I met one when I first moved here. But besides that, everybody's been Cubs fans.
Yeah. So with the Knicks, it's like the city's not divided between Knicks and Nets. They're divided between Giants and Jets, but that also takes into account Jersey. So a lot of Giant fans are in Jersey. So it's just, even with the Jets having their New York, Queens, Long Island, Staten Island fans, the Giants have Jersey. So they have like such a large number of fans anyway. So even if they float into the city, it's a lot of fans. I think Chicago, because they're completely divided between two teams, that the curse was one thing, but I don't know if it really resonated.
Yo, can you remember? But do you remember the hysteria around Bartman?
Yeah, they were going to kill him.
That's what I'm saying.
People were going to kill him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where it's just like, just saying, like,
the fandom, like I said, I stand behind my U.S. men's soccer team thing. It won't ever happen, but maybe when I'm 106 years old, it does happen. Like see, I told you, and I pull up YouTube on my little Palm Pilot holograph phone.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But hey,
yeah,
tomorrow night, Game 5. Go Spurs, go. You know what I mean? And then, we'll be back on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll have a Game 6, because me and Mr. Logical planned this out. It was like, hey, Game 6 would be on a night that we record. Game 7 would be next Friday and Juneteenth at the same time. Like, come on now. It don't get no better than that.
But it doesn't. Next one tomorrow, I'm going to the parade.
And it doesn't get any better than Sports Reports is ordered. We love y'all. Like, review, subscribe, share, rate, do all the free things. Do all the good things. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. We are everywhere, and I mean absolutely everywhere that you get your podcast. Make sure you got a Liquid Death in your hand. He is the world-famous, world-renowned, cool, calm, and collected. He was born in Texas, raised in VA, but he's representing Big Jers. He is Mr. Logical. Don't bring feelings to a fact fight.
Don't do it.
And then down here in the Alamo, you funny, Rez. Down here in the Alamo, it is your unorthodox statistician going left way faster than Davy Crockett did. I go by the name of 2-5. Don't sleep on the Spurs, y'all. Sports Reports is ordered, and let us know, who do you think would be the big championship title winners if they ended up winning a championship? We want to hear from you. But we'll be back on Tuesday. Sports Reports is ordered. Out.
Hey. Sports Reports, no gimmicks, no clowns. 2-5, Mr. Logical, we run this town. Real talk only, no chasing, no doubt. From the east to the west, it's the order we shout. Mic check, lights flash, game time, stay ready. 2 vets in the zone, keep the pressure real heavy. Big hits, big plays, yeah, we breaking it down. Truth rings in your speakers, every word is the crown. From the north side hustle to that southern flame. Midwest grind, west coast of the game. Sports Talk Kings, yeah, we wear that crown. Turn it up.